the immigration department enhance operational capacity? I have answered that questions. In fact, I think the last 4 weeks, we have graduated a team of border patrol, especially for border patrol. So that will be collaborating with the Gambia Police Force to do joint patrols. But at the same time, what I said is limited because the resources, because it's not only the human beings, but also you need resources to do border patrols. Sandy mentoring, yes, the same thing. Anytime we put our increase our budget in terms of getting vehicles, when it comes here, it is cut. Yes, anytime. Yeah, it's not removed, it's cut.
is to investigate and prosecute. What I want to ask is, did your office ever prosecute anybody who have done these violent attacks?
Member for Lower Badibu, you may please repeat your question.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister, my question is, what are the achievements and challenges with regards to this plan that you have just that I have just read to you? That is to engage your counterparts in Senegal and other ECOWAS countries. Thank you.
Member for Banjul Central, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. My question goes to both ministers because it's a bit cross-cutting. In regards to 6.3, under security and border management, when it comes to the joint patrolling teams, I would like to ask, is there exists a clear operational framework to be able to execute or rather distinguish between the lawful pastoral issues and also the cross-border activities? Yeah.
Member for Foyer Brefer, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question will go to the Ministry of Environment under 6.2 infrastructure. That the Ministry of Agriculture prioritize investment in shore development and water reservoirs. Honorable Minister, I want you to at least to mention which area has the Ministry of Agriculture provide the water reservoirs, because I want to know whether it has tackled the challenges facing by the areas facing the challenges of these transformers.
Honorable Member for Foyer Brefer, why would you want the minister to mention things that he has not mentioned? You want her to mention that because you want to ask a question.
Listen, Honorable Speaker, listen to me, please.
I'm listening. You said, Honorable Minister for Environment, I want you to mention A, B, C, D, because I want to ask this question.
No. I didn't say that.
Okay, start again.
Where the Ministry of Agriculture has provided reservoirs. It is important if it is measured so that the people will know whether it has covered, they have covered the reservoirs from the areas where they are facing the challenges of transformers. That's what I want to know.
No, that is not mentioned. Wait until it is mentioned, or you invite the Minister of Agriculture. When that is mentioned, then you talk about that. Minister to mention something, you ask a question on that, honorable member. No, that is out of order. The member for Poli Jarol, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My question goes to the Ministry of Environment. We're talking about fighting deforestation, and 90% of the Gambian population depend on forest products such as wood and firewood and charcoal. What effort is government doing to replace this use of firewood and charcoal? And for the Ministry of Interior, we're talking about to enforce an effective border patrol. And then we are yet to receive this immigration bill. How soon would we receive this bill at the National Assembly?
Member for Serekunda, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to ask a question regarding to recommendation 6.1 to the Minister for Environment. In your response to the recommendation, you said, my ministry will work with the Ministry of Agriculture, being the lead ministry in this instance. But since your ministry is mentioned, what steps have you taken to facilitate this cooperation between your ministry and the Ministry of Agriculture? And then 2, that would be 6.3, about these timber issues. Does your ministry have a comprehensive data on the species of trees that are used for timber production? Thank you.
Member for Bunong Kakunda, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my question is going to the Honorable Minister for Environment on the environmental management 6.5, where it states the Department of Forestry has started a campaign to grow 30 million trees across the country by partnering with local communities and private sector. I think this is very important. So I just want the Honorable Minister to inform this Assembly whether they have strategies in terms of collaborating with the local communities to maintain and keep these trees growing. And I also want to know what period of time do you want to grow this thing? If at all it is during the rainy season, that's fine. But after the rainy season, is there any strategy to nurture and maintain them to grow? Thank you.
Member for Kiang West, you have the floor. South. Member for Talending Kunyang, you have the floor.
Thank you, our Speaker. My question goes to the Minister for Environment. Prime Minister, in your response, you mentioned that you are discouraging the use of charcoal, encouraging people for alternative use of energy. Now, I'm asking, are there any strategies in place at the level of the ministry to achieve this?
The member for Wule East, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the farmer-wildlife conflict is still raging. And I've not seen anything in the response as to how that would be minimized. So what compensation mechanisms do you have, if any? And if you don't have, do you have any plans to come up with a policy, human-wildlife conflict? The hippos are supposed to be endangered species. They are not supposed to be killed by the farmers. But they are always eating the rice grown by the farmers, especially during the rainy season. So how do you really want to tackle that crisis that is raging between them? That is for the Environment Ministry. And for the Ministry of Interior, what we have discovered in my area is that those who come with their ship across the border, we call them transhumans, not only do they indiscriminately cut the plants of the farmers. For example, the kale tree, they use it a lot to feed their animals. But when they are going, we have a security problem. When they are going, the farmers are complaining that these people who are coming with their sheep, when they are returning, they return with a lot of sheep from the Gambia, across the border. So, and there is no way to detect that. What efforts is the ministry doing or planning to do to minimize that theft? Thank you.
Member for Fonyi Bondali, you have the floor.
Prime Speaker, observation. Observation.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I just want to observe that the first question asked by the Honorable Member from Wuli is, does not align with either the recommendations from the Ministry of Interior or that of the Environment. Can you allow it to pass? He is talking about people's invading rice fields. This is for the Ministry of Agriculture. I'm proposing the same mechanism that was applied on free benefit. We can equally forward that to the Minister of Agriculture. Here we are talking about transhumans, illegal felling, deforestation. Thank you.
Honorable members, please order. I'm sure it escaped most of us. You could have wasted the time, but I agree with you. That one is out of order. You know, but member for Tumanda, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to direct this question to Honorable Minister for Environment. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister, you
elaborate on who are the legal and illegal charcoal producers.
Observation, Honorable Speaker. I have an observation. Let him give me
the member for Bonali. What is your question? You know, during her deliberations, she made mention of legal charcoal house producers. So I want to know who are the legal and the illegal. The Honorable Member for Tumana, you have the floor. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I want to observe.
Observe who?
I'll ask a question.
Proceedings.
Ask. Honorable Speaker, can I go ahead, please?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have seen that it has occurred here 2 times. When members raise questions, some members would raise after to try to disqualify those questions. I would urge members to read the document before them. What the member for Willie, the issues raised by the member of Willie is embedded in this.
Honorable Member, take your repeat. I've made a decision on that already.
Reference
Take Honorable Member 6.43. Honorable Member, please take your seat. Member for Tumana, you have the floor. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Ramadan Mubarak to you, all the members and the whole parliament. Yes, calm down. I will speak. No problem. Honorable Speaker, I have a question for the Environment Minister with regard to section 6.1(2), where it reads that the government establishes regional and local grazing committees with statutory mandates and regulations, monitor and manage areas and related disputes. I want to know whether these committees were selected newly or these are all arrangements, please. Thank you. Honorable members, I will now invite the honorable ministers to respond to those questions, and then, of course, why not? Beginning with the Minister for Environment.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I start with the one from Banjul Central. If I am right, I think you're asking about whether we have a clear operational framework. I didn't mention that in my initial response, we're waiting for the policy to be produced first to guide us on these modalities. These frameworks must be guided by at least some legal base. And hence, we are still working on the establishment of a legal base to support the management, sustainable management of transhumance practices. I want us to expedite that, but also therefore to have a framework that will guide us with a clear legal base. When we benefit on the infrastructures, Lagos just has reservoir by the, I think this not under my mandate. I apologize because I will not be able to know where Ministry of Agriculture has built these reservoirs. But I know they do this in consultation with relevant stakeholders to make that at least within the all areas.
The Minister.
Yes, please.
One question is not admitted. You can't answer that.
I didn't get that part. Sorry for that. Thank you. Replacing firewood and charcoal usage by government. What are our plans? The plans are on. It's not an easy way because we don't have gas, and the best alternative is the use gas, which is a little bit more cleaner in terms of energy. So, but this is what we are working. We started preparing a concept put a proposal to get support from partners to see how best we can do a pilot that will be scaled up as we move on. But plans are on the way. We try to target our carbon trading finance. We have started already collecting some few amounts the carbon trading. We've engaged partners, but it's not most partners that we have engaged so far don't have the interest aligned. The Ministry of Finance is our key supporter on this. It's ready, but we need to look at the sustainability mechanism, and that's what we have to work on. We don't want to have only one set of finance to support 1 year, then the next year it will go and then die out. So it's important that in as much as government is willing at the level of the Ministry of Finance, we have to also incorporate the sustainability mechanism. And this is where we need to get partners to work on. Thank you. With Serakunda, steps taken to facilitate population and names of trees used for the timber. The names of trees, that's maybe if you can come back to this, I might miss your question.
Thank you very much. I asked 2 questions. I said, since your Ministerial 6.1 regarding to that recommendation, you said that your ministry, here is it again, 6.1. 6.1, yeah. You said your ministry will work with the Ministry of Agriculture being the lead ministry in this instance on the development of a national transshipment policy. So my question was, when you received this report, did you engage the Ministry of Agriculture so that you can work on these recommendations? That is to show your commitment as a ministry. Yes, and number 2, that is 6.3. Does your ministry have comprehensive data on the species of trees that are used for timber production? Since you are the ministry and the authority that issues license. Thank you.
Thank you. On the first one, during my initial phase, I did mention that these recommendations were sent to both the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, and Interior. So we will all work towards this. I have not engaged the Ministry of Agriculture personally on the policy and also our next steps. But from here, I promise we'll do that. On the second phase, I think we'll have to do follow up to this because we are asking for list, and I have to engage my technicians to give us a comprehensive list. We'll give you a half-quick question, our answers. Thank you. For Limbing Kakunda, environmental management, strategies to manage and sustain survival of these 3 species. Yes, I mentioned it also in my first response, embedded community awareness and engagement process, so that at least we will have the buy-in of all stakeholders, including National Assembly members, the single mechanism. We are now out of tree planting. The slogan is no more tree planting, it's tree growing. Because we understand that when we plant and we are not growing, then we just go from back to just as the Mandinkas will call it. So we do not want to do that. We want to make sure that the sustainability mechanism is being built. We are making sure that at least now it's no more tree planting. It's not in our it's not what we're using as our agenda. It's tree growing, and there are mechanisms put in place to make sure that people take the ownership. One of these initiatives is the community forest. Community forest is now targeting people to take ownership and also motivate them to take the responsibility to grow these trees. So, among others, making sure that people are also aware and understand that food itself has the effect for survival. So, Kalindin, strategies in place to replace alternative energy. I think I already addressed that when I was talking, responding to one of the questions from Ministerial. The only is human-wildlife conflict. I think that was overruled. Maybe we have to go back to the speaker. For you, Bandali, to elaborate on who are the illegal and legal chapters.
Speaker, if I understand your question, the thing is talking about the speaker. Okay, Minister, please go ahead.
For you, if I understand your question, the who means the individuals. And I'm not able to know who are the illegal or legal charcoal producers. These are individuals. I know it includes people from Pony, people from Badiboo, so I want to be able to know who are they. But then if you talk about what is the illegal and legal charcoal, then I can take on this. It's just the process I mentioned here in my first deliberation. The process we take, making it legal or illegal. If you follow the due process to get applications and you're given permit to at least bring down a certain tree or collect waste timbers from the forest and you burn it, then you are getting the legal base to do a legal process. And if you do not follow the legal base, you bring down trees that are illegal, you burn it, you didn't get the permit, then you are now being illegal. So it's a two, following the law and not following the law. Establish of regional grazing committee, whether this is a new thing or an old thing. This is under the Minister of Agriculture, Livestock. So I don't know whether they have committees established, whether it's going to be a new one or an old one. So it's under the Minister of Agriculture. Thank you so much.
Yes, member, please.
Why if you are saying you are not overruled by you, it's only after you have ruled that it is admissible as a time when you got up. Are you saying that you have overruled my question? Because everything I have said is in relation to agriculture and wildlife and transport.
But that's what I said earlier.
Yes, so it's not overruled. You did not overrule.
No, I do. No, please. No. Member, please take your seat. Order. There is a point of order by the majority of the member for control.
I'm writing on order 8. In all cases where matters are not explicitly provided by the standing order, the question of procedure shall be decided by the speaker. So when the speaker has already ruled on the question, he will challenge again. So please sit at the rule.
Order sustained. Now the Minister of Interior, please take the podium and respond to those questions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The first question comes from Umi Kansala. The bill is not yet. You said the bill is not yet here. Can you add these things into the bill? Because I can't just tell you, these are the cases we prosecuted. So it's big.
No, he said I have to tell him. Yeah. What's the problem, Sami? What's the problem? Yeah, if the minister wants you to clarify your questions, you can go ahead. Minister, is that so? Honourable Minister, do you want him to clarify his question?
Yes, I think so.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you. The reason why I said a serious incident happened it was caused by this transhuman, the Warankos in Jarumekoto.
No, what was your question, please? Can you answer your question?
You know, the question was about,
repeat your question.
the question was, no, he said he doesn't understand. So I'm trying to lay the foundation so that he can understand.
Honorable members, you see, we are not constructing buildings here. Don't lay foundation.
No, I made my question. He said it's not clear.
Can you repeat the question? Just repeat.
I don't want to repeat the same thing, and he said,
no, just repeat it. Do not build any foundation. We're not building a house here.
No. What I'm trying to say is that we are talking about the violence that's caused by these Walankos, the transhuman. It happened in Jarumekoto. The case was reported to Kuntao. And I learned that the man is apprehended. So I don't know.
Now,
the case right now, what's happening?
Okay, now, Honorable Minister, Honorable Member, the Minister have not responded in his reply to the Assembly, in the circumstances of the Jarumekoto and the Walankas. So you're out of order.
Speaker, because he talked about violent attacks. Who caused those violent attacks?
No, no,
Walankas.
I agree, but you want, because that case, no, in this instance, you want him to know what is the development of that case. He cannot answer that, because, no, he cannot answer that. No. Minister, please continue. Minister, please continue.
The member for Banjul Center, whether there is any operational framework in relation to the border patrol. No, we are doing border patrol, whether it is pastoral or any other thing, is border patrol. Whatever happens, we take care of it. Yeah.
No, honorable members, honorable minister.
We cannot do that. Operation is operation. Border patrol is border patrol. You take care of everything. Member for Jaron, House and the Immigration Bill is coming. The immigration bill will be almost here. We have finished, has gone to cabinet and then come back to us. We did the ratification. Now it's coming back. It will be coming very soon. Member for Woolly is going. What if can we do? Honorable member for Woolly, it will be very difficult for us to be able to do anything. We'll do the patrol, because if GC people going with herds of cattle and also, how would they identify this one belongs to government people or this one belongs to them, unless those things are reported?
Thank you. Honorable, can I clarify? Because he's asking me, and I want him to understand what I'm saying. Can you shut up? Honorable Fully is. Don't use it. I saw the minister packing his things, so I don't think he asked you a question. Minister, did you ask him a question?
I didn't ask him a question. I answered his question.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable members. I want to thank the honorable ministers for Environment, Parks and Wildlife, as well as that of the Interior, for those reply and answers provided to honorable members, and thank honorable members for those questions. You may go now, honorable ministers. Thank you. Clerk, we may proceed.
Thank you. Bill. Order 76, withdrawal of a bill. Withdrawal of the Vetting Bill 2023 by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Honorable members, I will now invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to move a motion for the withdrawal of the bill entitled Vetting Bill 2023. Honorable Attorney General, you may take the podium.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Good morning to honorable members. It's my first appearance for your first session of the year. I wish you a successful session and a successful legislative year ahead. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Vetting Bill 2023 be withdrawn. Thank you.
Any second member for All Yundum and Deputy Majority Leader?
Honorable Speaker, I second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled Vetting Bill 2023 be withdrawn from the Assembly. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, the bill is withdrawn. Thank you. Clerk, we may proceed.
Honorable Speaker. Thank you. Bill, Standing Order 66, second reading of the Intellectual Property Bill 2025 by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, member for Lower Salo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
General,
Oh.
I have not called you.
Oh, you've not?
No. Yes, Lower Salo.
I just want to observe, Honorable Speaker. You see, if bill is introduced in Parliament, it can be object and reasons. If the bill also is going to be withdrawn, so give us the reason why it's withdrawing the bill.
Honorable member, is that your bill? It's not your bill. He brought a bill he wanted to consider. And at some stage, order, honorable members, order. Deputy Majority Leader, Deputy Majority Leader, order, please. Honorable members, order, honorable members, please, honorable members, please, honorable members, order. There are no reasons. The law have not, of course, order, honorable members. The law have not requested him to give any reason. This is bill. He can withdraw it at any time. Please, honorable member, clerk, can we proceed, please? Clerk.
Read now, people. I've already read it.
Clerk, can we proceed?
Oh, thank you. Honorable Speaker, Standing Order 66, second reading of the Intellectual Property Bill 2025 by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Honorable members, you will recall that the fourth reading of the Intellectual Property Bill 2025 was done on Wednesday, 19 November 2025, and today is appointed for the second reading in accordance with Standing Order 66 sub 2. Therefore, pursuant to Order 67 of the Standing Orders, I now invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to move a motion for the second reading of the bill entitled Intellectual Property Bill 2025. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that bill entitled Intellectual Property Bill 2025 be read the second time. Honorable Speaker, members will recall that the Intellectual Property Bill, there was an earlier version that was tabled before this assembly that went through the first reading, second reading until we got to the consideration stage. During consideration, we discovered some cross-referencing difficulties, and it was going to be too painstaking to be able to correct all that. So we advised ourselves that we withdraw and go and tidy it up and reintroduce the bill. And because some time has passed, so the title of the bill have now become 2025. But members should be able to recall that it is not an entirely new bill. It was a bill that has gone through all stages up to consideration stage, an advanced stage of the consideration stage itself. Honorable Speaker, by way of objects and reasons, the purpose of this bill is to give effect to intellectual property rights administration, which is currently
fragmented and administered by two distinct institutions in the Gambia. Industrial property rights are administered by the Ministry of Justice, while copyright and register and related rights are administered by the National Center for Arts and Culture under the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. This segregation of administration and mandate has generally affected the development and efficient administration of intellectual property rights in the Gambia. The enactment of the Intellectual Property Bill 2025 will therefore streamline the administration of intellectual property rights and make it a one-stop shop in line with the principles of ease of doing business and international best practices. Furthermore, the enactment will also give an opportunity for new intellectual property regimes which are beneficial to national and international intellectual property rights holders to be incorporated in this act. In addition, the Gambia, being a member state of the World Intellectual Property Organization, the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, and the trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights of the World Trade Organization, has a legal obligation to ensure that intellectual property rights are effectively administered in its jurisdiction. So therefore, as part of the processes of defining the practical application of these conventions and agreements, this bill has made provisions to ensure adequate provisions to address all issues of intellectual property rights. On that basis, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Any second member for Cantora and Majority Leader?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the floor. I also equally want to thank the Honorable Minister for moving this bill for the second time. Honorable Speaker, I understand pursuant to Order 67, when the bill is read for second time, the merits of the bill may be debated upon. But of course, as earlier said by the Minister himself, this bill has gone through a series of stages up to constitutional stage. And we've gone through first and second reading of the bill. It might be more repetition as well, but we all understand the content and importance of the bill as far as intellectual property is concerned. And Gambia being a member of the AFCFCTA, that's the Africa Free Trade Conservation Agreement, this bill is germane for us to make sure that we protect innovation. We also protect invention. We also protect artistics. So basically, I think this will go a long way. In terms of invention, it protects the patents. And in terms of artistics, it also protects the trademark. And in terms of, how do you call it again, brand, it also protects the logo. So basically, I think we're in the right direction. As a country that is member to Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement, where we are opening our market to 1.3 billion, population. It's a very big market. So therefore, it is right to make sure that some of these innovations are protected, some of these brilliant ideas are protected, some of these, artistics are also protected. So I think the government is really acting on the right track, and basically, which will also promote growth. It also compensates research as well, because you cannot just go and take, per se, take ownership of someone's hard work. It also, as well, even protect consumers in terms of knowing the originality or origin of particular products, where they come from. So it has a lot of good things in it. So without further ado, Honorable Speaker, with the permission, I want to rise, after seconding the motion, I want to rise on Order 53C to refer the bill to the committee, ABC for committal to the Royal Committee, without debates. Without debates. Thank you very much.
Point of order now, Speaker.
There is a point of order from the member for Lower Salum. Honorable members, please order. There is a point of order from the member for Lower Salum.
Honorable Speaker, I refer you to Order 76 of the Standing Orders. 76 of the Standing Orders. I want to base my argument. 76 of the standing orders. Can I read? Yes, Honorable Speaker, Order 76 of the standing orders, my earlier submission of the withdrawal of the bill. The withdrawal of the bill, one, a person in charge of a bill may take a motions.
Honorable member.
Yes. It's a point of order, it's a procedure. It's a procedure, don't worry. I'm in line. Now it's left to you to disregard it.
Go ahead.
Based on your principle. It's up to you. Honorable Speaker, Order 76, withdrawal of a bill. One, the person in charge of the bill may take a motion to wait notice for withdrawal of a bill at any stage before it has been to read the third time, except when the bill is before the committee. And already the bill is now under consideration of the committee. Means the minister's procedure is not committed at this house. So we go on. It's a fraud. Procedurally, I mean.
Order, honorable members, order. Honorable members, order. Member for Basse. The member for Basse, please take your seat. Honorable members, order, please. Honorable,
Can
you take a seat, please? Honorable members, order. Honorable members, nominated member Kebalang Fofana, and who is the, oh, sorry. Sorry, those at the gallery there, please. Honorable members, I will deliver a ruling on that on Wednesday. Yes. Yes. Now, honorable members, the member for Cantora raised, of course, seconded the motion and move a motion. Any seconder, please? Member for Woolly is
seconded.
Honorable members, we have two motions on the floor. I will first ask that we vote on the first motion, that is the secondment of the bill, then to the second motion moved by the majority leader. Honorable members, I'm being reminded that, you know, when the motion is seconded, usually we don't put a vote. We go straight and debate. But the seconder moved a motion for us to commit it to the ABC without debate. So in the circumstances, I will ask a question on his second question. That is without debate. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that order, please. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the Intellectual Property Bill 2025 be committed to the ABC without debate. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Now, naturally, I will invite the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, of course, in the normal circumstances, to respond to issues and line of the debate. But this is strange. Maybe he will thank members. Honorable Attorney General.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Anyway, for those that are still a bit lost, the objects remain the same, like I said in my statement. So, and those objects were debated when the bill was tabled for the first time. So that's the reason why it's been proposed for it to be moved, and I commend you and thank you for allowing it to proceed to the ABC Committee for referral without debate. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Attorney General. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled Intellectual Property Bill 2025 be read a second time. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk. Honorable Attorney General, you have not finished your business.
The Intellectual Property Bill 2025.
Honorable members, in accordance with Order 68, Sub 1 of the Standing Orders, the bill is hereby referred to the Assembly Business Committee for committal to either a committee or committee of the whole Assembly. Thank you. Clerk, we may proceed. Attorney General, you may leave now.
Bill, Standing Order 66, second reading of the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2025 by the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment.
Honorable members, I'm being informed by my aides that the Honorable Minister for Trade is not present, and I hereby, in the circumstances, I'm not sure whether I'm to vary the order paper or to move to the next item on the agenda. Clerk, we now move into the next item of the order paper. The Honorable Minister for Trade is not present, and we have not received any communication to that effect as to why he's not here. Clerk, we may proceed to the next item on the order paper.
Bill, Standing Order 66, second reading of the Communications Bill 2025 by Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy.
Honorable members, you will recall that the first reading of the Communication Bill 2025 was done on Wednesday, 19 November 2025, and today is appointed for the second reading in accordance with Standing Order 66 of 2. Therefore, pursuant to Order 67 of the Standing Orders, I now invite the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy to move a motion for the second reading of the bill entitled Communication Bill 2025. Honorable Minister, you may take the podium.
Honorable Speaker, to you and to the honorable members, Ramadan Mubarak and Ramadan Kareem. To those observing Lent, we pray that you have a blessed Lent period. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled Communication Bill be read for the second time. The objectives and reasons for this particular bill are to establish a framework for rapid, efficient, and comprehensive electronic communications, information, media, broadcasting, and electronic commerce services in the Gambia, for promoting competition and investment, ensure consumer protection and privacy, and facilitate the optimal use of national communication resources like radio frequencies. The bill is designed to ensure affordability and access, upholding standards for equipment, information, broadcast, and media services. Ultimately, it is to promote the establishment of the needs of digital economy and new approaches for providing information, media, and broadcasting services in the age of digitization. The creation of an enhanced ecosystem in the face of technological innovation for national defense and public safety through secure and reliable communication infrastructure. This bill is expected to establish a legal framework for electronic transactions, information, media, and broadcasting services, promoting national and regional competitiveness, ensuring the security of ICT, information communications technology infrastructure, and protecting personal data and privacy. It is to enable e-government services by promoting innovation and addressing computer misuse and cybercrime to protect individuals and organizations. It's to provide legal recognition for electronic signature, contracts, and other electronic communications to enable electronic commerce. To foster innovation and the development of a knowledge-based economy by encouraging the use of information communication technologies in various sectors of the economy. Enhance efficiency and effectiveness in business and public sectors by optimizing processes through ICT. Ensure the provision of rapid, efficient, and national electronic communication, information, media, and broadcasting services to all people at reasonable charges, as well as promoting affordable access to high-quality network. Foster a competitive communication and broadcasting sector by removing licensing barriers to entry, attracting investment, and encouraging the deployment and adoption of new technologies and services. Safeguard consumer interests by addressing issues like privacy, ensuring truth in advertising, and protecting consumer data from misuse. Protect and facilitate national defense and public safety through the use of electronic communication, information, media, and broadcasting services, including ensuring emergency services. Promote the purposeful and just allocation and use of scarce resources such as radio frequencies and numbers. Establish standards for communication equipment and regulate broadcasting services, including setting decency standards through a flexible, clear, and efficient licensing regime. Create the necessary conditions for the development and use of electronic communications networks and services for the creation of the digital economy. I submit.
Any second member for Upper Salo?
my noisy neighbor. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, here we have a bill that is very critical in the digital ecosystem. And in general, it also provides the foundation or the framework where our country, the Gambia, can effectively implement policies as well as laws that would guide us in this information age. Honorable Speaker, the bill seeks to, in fact, change the current trajectory in terms of information and communication. And then the current bill, which is the Communication Act 2009, there are a lot of gaps in terms of the licensing regime, in terms of what kind of type of license do we need to give, among other things. And I think it's important that we update the current laws to match the current realities of the country. Honorable Speaker, it is also equally important for us to also clearly highlight, no matter how important this bill is, to also ensure that we have a very clear boundary in terms of regulation and in terms of operations as well. That is the ministry and other regulatory agencies. You know, we also have the Bureau Act, which is the main regulator. And I think it's also equally important for that act also to be reviewed, because there are a lot of things that are really outdated as well. Because if you look at this agency itself, they're going to look at the petroleum sector. And they're going to look at the telecom sector as well. But yet still, they only have 5 board members that looks at all these issues. So I think, in general, the bill, even though it's very good, but we also need to look further, just to ensure that all the other institutions sorry, okay. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, Honorable Speaker, is that it is very important that we have such a bill that's going to clearly indicate the responsibility of all the agencies, the ministry, and also the regulator. But above all, the regulatory bureau itself, I think their bill needs also be updated, because at this point in time, they are responsible for petroleum, they are responsible for utilities, they are also responsible for telecom sector. We really need to take a review of that. Otherwise, when this bill passes, we may have some structural issues, because part of the requirement is that the regulator must also have a board that actually aligns their understanding with this industry. And to have a 5-member board to look at petroleum, to look at utilities, to also look at the telecom sector, I think it's going to be really, we're really stretching that too far. And I think it's important that we take a look at that. Honorable Speaker, I also need to remind ourselves also in 2022, my parliament also passed a bill here, which was an amendment, where the issue of the security agencies, as far as the communication sector is concerned. In fact, on the current bill, on the current act, before it was updated, you know, they can do surveillance, they can do wiretaps. But when we actually came in 2022, there were amendments where the authority of the High Court will be sought before the security agencies can do that. But when you look at the current bill, it's kind of like silence on that. And in this day and age, we must not do anything that may suppress the investigative powers of the security forces. We need to look at that. And in the current bill, I see that actually it's almost silent on it. But as a nation, I think we need to also ensure that we give the security agencies the powers that they need to be able to keep this country safe. Not to take too long, Honorable Speaker, the only thing I will touch on also is about the issue of the digital economy that the bill also intends to address. And one aspect is actually the digital addressing system and also the digital IDs. The bill seems to be very silent on those, and those are fundamental, those are critical in our digital economy. So considering the importance of this particular bill, Honorable Speaker, and considering the fact that it's really a very technical bill, I would urge us to maybe refer this to the ABC I'm sorry they can refer it to the appropriate committee to take a look at, because this really is a very critical bill, and it has a lot of technicalities that we really need to study further to ensure that we align ourselves with the latest. Thank you.
Honorable members, in accordance with Order 67, Sub 1 of the Standing Orders, I will now open the floor for debate on the general merits and principles of the bill. Any honorable member who wishes to partake in the debate may do so now by show of tag. In the absence of I now invite the Honorable Minister for Honorable Member for Fonya Councillor, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thank the Minister of Digital Economic for bringing this important bill, Communication Bill 2025. Honorable Speaker, I think in the age of technology, national defense and safety also matters, where this bill is also working towards addressing. And again, also coming up with the framework of electronic communication. We are in the digital age. And also, you look at the bill also working towards addressing affordability and accessibility.
How many minutes for each member?
In giving accessibility to the digital age, it's also very important. And I believe that what the honorable member for Lower Salem, is it Oppo Salem said, critically very important. We don't need to rush for this bill, because there are a lot of overlap in various acts that have already been passed. But I believe amicably passing to the ABC committee for it to be referred to the relevant committee will do the needful, and whereby a lot of stakeholders will be consulted. And again, also looking at the e-governance system, I think it's prudent now. Government institutions most use Gmail. Why? But with the common force of this bill, will address a lot of issues. The cyber crime issues, also cyber security. This bill will also address that. I think we are up to, and the minister is in line. We will work together to support this bill. But I believe also we do the necessary for us to be sent to the ABC and to the relevant committee for a holistic, a holistic stakeholder engagement to make sure this is up and running. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I submit. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Honorable members, we will allocate 4 minutes. Member for Sumbala, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for tabling this very important bill before us. I would say this bill is long overdue because we are now in a digital world. I haven't seen most of our government administrations are now going on e-governance, e-commerce, and other electronic transactions are done through digital means. So it is timely and important that we have this important bill so that it is going to regulate and protect and as well as promote the activities of individual and government. The Honorable Minister have advanced so many points that terms as the merit of this important bill. And amongst them is protection of citizens' data and privacy. This is very important. We have seen so many cases now going on social medias, wherein people's privacy has been infringed. People's privacy has been infringed, and peoples are taking advantage of that, and also some, in a way of obtaining money, do some of these privacy hacking through the internet systems. So with the advance of this communication bill, such issues will be addressed. And also, like he said, it is also going to ensure fairness and transparency. Any activities, government activities that is done via electronic means, it is going to ensure transparency and fairness. So there will be a trace for those activities so that issues relating to promotion, protection, and development of our economy will be an issue that one can trace through electronic and communication means. On that note, I thank you, and I supported this bill and call members of this August Assembly to better prepare for an effective scrutiny so that we can have this bill in place to protect all that the Honorable Minister and his team desire for better Gambia. Thank you.
Member for Woolly East, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we need to take this bill very, very, very seriously. It is an important bill, at the same time very controversial. There's a lot of pros and cons. So I would also advise that we give it to the appropriate committees to make adequate findings and advise us very well on this. Honorable Speaker, anything that would endanger the lives and livelihood of the Gambian people should be considered very, very well, because we are in a digital age and we see the danger that is taking place in some countries. I just give you an example of what is taking place in Iran, how they are using technology there, digital technology, to wage war against other countries. So, but I've seen it in the bill that one of the objectives is to protect and facilitate national defense and security and public safety. So we should look at that area very seriously and ensure that that is adequately captured. Honorable Speaker, I believe that the communications bill is a very important one. It is to uphold standards for equipment, what type of equipment that would be allowed, what type of information system or information that would be circulated, broadcasting and media are all captured in this bill. So I think it is a very important bill that needs to be considered. Secondly, if we look at it also, it is meant to boost the economy, the digital economy, which is #1 in the world now. Any country that takes digital economy seriously, are progressing. So we need to really take it seriously and ensure that the objective of the bill is attained. On that note, I thank you and all members to be reading this bill so that we'll be doing the needful to ensure that what is contained there is in the paramount interest of our people. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Sani Mentering, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'll be very much precise with regards to my deliberations with regards to this bill. Honorable Speaker, I think this bill is very, very timely, and it is very, very important that members consider this bill and pass it, because the bill has already catered for the cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is very alarming in our communities now. People are being framed for those whom they are not,
And also the bill has also catered for things that will be in security, more especially with the women in various communities. Cyber security, most people, I will say, wouldn't know the use of a mobile phone, for example. Using a mobile phone, framing people of whom they are not, is really alarming, and this is destroying a lot of marriages for women, and it is also destroying a lot of marriages for men, and it is also making life difficult for women especially. So addressing such things in a bill, to be more precise, Honorable Speaker, I think it is very, very timely, and I will also urge members to look into this properly, and then we see how best we can pass this bill. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now invite the Honorable Minister for Communications and Digital Economy to respond to issues raised and wind up the debate. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Indeed, I recognize the importance of this bill and then the observations herein given. To the Honorable Member from Upper Salem, two issues. One on the power of the High Court vis-a-vis power of the security forces during investigation. These are partially addressed, but we can improve on them more. On digital addressing as well, which is the second issue. We understand, because we already have a digital addressing policy in place, of course, the law has to cover it. A number of the issues there are partly and sparsely and separately covered in this particular bill. We have been informed by the best practices. Some countries would have a specific and separate legislation for digital addressing. Some other countries would actually leave it for secondary legislation that is adopting or using the power of issuing regulations. And then some countries leave it to different respective institutions how they address it. But I think as it is going to the committee stage, that could be looked at. We can look at the legal equivalence of digital addressing, the institutional and the governance framework, matters of standardization, privacy, security, and all other things. Now, for the comment from the Honorable Member from Forney Councillor, the issue of national defense, accessibility, and e-government. We already have our own email policy trying to push through, but of course this bill also addresses those areas very significantly. It's a highly improved version of the old legislation, that is the ICT Act. But I agree entirely that our use of these Gmails and the Hotmails and the Yahoos, it is time we move on. But separately, I can gladly inform that we have now started the process of pushing through the e-cabinet and possibly e-parliament. All would be within the elements of e-government. And this bill will still be promoting that. From the Honorable Member from Busumbala, indeed, with an e-government policy in place, this is also going to complement the enforcement of e-government, e-transactions, as well as e-commerce in the country. More specifically and particularly, data protection and privacy. For the Honorable Member from Woodley East, indeed, it is very critical. I do recognize and acknowledge that currently some of the biggest achievements that the government is doing and pursuing is infrastructure. Now, if you look at this infrastructure, it's both in the physical infrastructure and digital infrastructure. We recognize the importance of that digital infrastructure in management of these critical physical infrastructure, especially standards and the equipments that are being used. So this bill particularly addresses
the 68 sub 1 of the standing orders. The bill is hereby referred to the Assembly Business Committee for committal to either a committee or committee of the whole Assembly. Thank you, honorable members. On that note, now I put the question. You are joining us. Yeah, trades. Honorable members, I'm informed that the Minister of Trade is here to attend to his business. As I'm aware, earlier on, I informed you that he is not around and we have not been communicated to. Clerk, we may now move to the earlier item on the agenda that we have, of course, intended to solve, to address the Minister of Trade's business. Clerk?
Thank you. Bill, Standing Order 66. Second reading of the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2025 by the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment.
Honorable members, you will recall that the first reading of the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2025 was done on Wednesday, 29 October 2025, and today is appointed for the second reading of the bill in accordance with the Standing Order 66 of 2. Therefore, pursuant to Order 67 of the Standing Orders, I now invite the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment to move a motion for the second reading of the bill entitled the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2025. Honorable Minister, you may take the podium. Minister. Yeah, you're welcome. I think this is your first time. Yes, and we are in Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak to you. So you're welcome. But you have been here observing your colleagues, how they do things. Thank you. I think you are familiar with the procedures. Thank you. You're most welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Honorable Speaker, it's my profound honor and privilege to stand before you as first timer to attend to the business of Parliament in my new capacity as Minister of Trade, Industry and Employment. I not only recognize your importance, but I also take this opportunity to seek your support and your prayers and blessing in this holy month of Ramadan. On the subject of the day, second reading of the bill seeking to establish a modern, coherent, and development-oriented investment framework for the Gambia that enables the attraction, retention, and expansion of responsible and sustainable investment. The bill going for its second reading seeks to an alignment with national and regional priorities in order to ensure consistency and green revolutionary focused national development plan. The African Continental Free Trade Area after Protocol on Investment, ECOWAS treaties and other international best practices in investment promotion and facilitation. Promotion of sustainable development in order to integrate social, economic, and environmental sustainability objectives into investment regulation so as to maximize positive impacts, minimize adverse effects, and advancement responsible investment practices. Institutional strengthening in order to provide for the establishment and capacity building of key institutions, including the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency, the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the Gambia Standard Bureau, to ensure effective implementation, monitoring, and enforcement of investment policy. The balance in investor-state relation in order to safeguard the policy space of the state while balancing rights and obligations of investors, incorporating principles of corporate social responsibility, and ensuring that international investment agreements support national sustainable development objectives. Legal and policy coherence in order to address systemic gaps, overlap, and inconsistencies within the investment regime. Harmonized provision with related policies in trade, industrial, agriculture, labor, entrepreneurship, financial services, and climate change, and establish effective mechanism for dispute prevention and settlement. And F, regional and global competitiveness in order to position the Gambia to benefit from emerging opportunities in regional integration and global value chain, and to adapt to technological transformation, including smart agriculture, the Internet of Things, and advanced manufacturing and assembly systems. The amendment of GAIPA Act will deliver a modernized, predictable, transparent investment framework that enhances investor confidence, increase attraction and retention of sustainable, high-quality investment into the Gambia, stronger institutional capacity to deliver on investment and export promotion mandates, better alignment of the Gambia's legal regime with AFTA and ECOWAS obligation, thereby improving regional integration. The amendment of the GAIPA Act will also improve balance between economic growth and sustainable development,
imperatives, including environmental protection, gender equity, and youth employment creation. The proposed amendment to the GAIPA Act 2015 are therefore essential to reposition the Gambia as a competitive, resilient, and sustainable investment destination. They will ensure that the national investment regime reflects contemporary realities, strengthen institutional effectiveness, and create conditions conducive to inclusive economic transformation in line with Vision 2035 and the NDP, as well as the broader aspiration of Agenda 2063. I so submit.
Clerk. No. Clerk. Yeah.
Let me repeat then. I so move that this bill be read the second time.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Any seconder? Member for Woolly East? You may now sit down.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion. Honorable Speaker, this bill is also very, very important. Anything that deals with trade, which produces wealth for people is important. I believe investment promotion is the first point of contact for all investors because they provide the necessary information to them and they also explain the procedures to them, as well as also help them to engage in networking. So to improve that, it's a very important initiative. Export promotion, Honorable Speaker, should support our local entrepreneurs, our local businesses. We should support them so that they'll be able to reach international markets. We are too much into import. If you compare our imports to our exports, income from imports to that of exports is 100 kilometers away. So we need to boost our exports. And any investment promotion should promote exports, more exports. And you know, when we say investment in this country, people always focus on foreign direct investment, which is important, but it's not the be-all. Foreign direct investment also has a tendency of discouraging local entrepreneurship. So we should be promoting exports of our own crops, and that cannot also come without value addition. The minister has mentioned the issue of AFCETA, Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We will not benefit from that adequately unless we build our own value addition to our crops, and we have so many of them that we can process and then do trade with our own African countries. The objective of AFCETA is to ensure at least 40 to 50% of our external trade should be between us in Africa, so that the rest will be done outside. Honorable Speaker, training is mentioned, which is also very important. If we want our business people, entrepreneurs to really gain as much as possible, they need to be trained. And I believe this initiative should also help them to get full training so that they'll be able to do their work.
Also, incentives. We have to give them incentives. If you want people to progress, you want them to persist in doing something until they become qualified, you need to give them incentives. And our strategic objective, Honorable Speaker, should be to create the conducive environment for those who are exporting our crops. We must give them that environment. Without that, they'll just start and they will. I got a brother who started to try to send some fish from Gambia, smoked fish, to, as far as Kenya. But after he has started once, twice, then he got discouraged and left. But if we give them the incentives and support them, they will persist and continue. Honorable Speaker, investment, like I said, is not just foreign direct investment. Sometimes that is important for us, foreign direct investment. But if we sit in an office and just wait for people who will want to come for foreign direct investment, you may be sitting there for a long time. But if we sit there for the Gambian people, you will receive a lot of visitors. Because so many youth will want to participate in trade, but they have difficulties. One, they have difficulties in terms of capital. How do we help them so that they'll be able to access capital? Because we'll not be able to do anything without capital. So we should be thinking of that. Honorable Speaker, I want to support this bill wholeheartedly, and I want to call on all members to do same, because this is a very important thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable members, in accordance with Order 67, Sub 1 of the Standing Orders, I will now open the floor for debate on the general merits and principle of the bill. Any honorable member who wishes to partake in the debate may do so now. I have a good number of them that made it on my list, beginning with the member for Jara Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, may I first of all thank and congratulate the Honorable Minister for his new appointment to the position of Minister of Trade. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for the new role that you are undertaking now. Honorable Speaker, the GAIPA Amendment Bill here before us, as the previous speaker from Woolly East, member for Woolly East have just mentioned, cannot be overemphasized. Among the most salient reasons why it is very important for the Ministry of Trade to come up with this amendment or changes in the draft is the revision and rationalization of the tax and fiscal incentives, especially those granted to the what we call the SICs, the Special Investment Certificates. Honorable Speaker, if you look at what have been put in the SIC policy, the Special Investment Certificate policy, it is very broad. It is broad to the extent that you wouldn't understand what incentive to give and what incentive to hold. And in that dimension, Honorable Speaker, government was losing a lot of revenue. Too much revenue was being lost through those ad hoc activities of issuing the SIC certificates to investors. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the 2015 Act, that's the current Act, it provided very minimal accountability and transparency of issuing the SIC certificate to investors. And in that direction, Honorable Speaker, you can see that it was very difficult to account for how many SIC certificates have been given.
Honorable Member for Latikunda Sabiji, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. And I thank the Honorable Minister for bringing this progressive bill before the National Assembly. One thing I just want to question the Honorable Minister. I don't know why you were not mindful to also amend Section 50 of the GIPA Act. Because if you look at Section 50 of the GIPA Act, it restricts foreign employment of foreign nationals to 20%. And what they do now.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
There's a point of order on the Majority Leader and Member for Kantora.
Honorable Speaker, with the permission, second reading of the bill. Reference to clauses 67. A motion been moved that a bill be read a second time. The general merit and principle of the bill may be debated. So we're not really going to the specific clauses of the bill per se. It's just to, dive into the merit and principle of the bill, not to go to specific clauses. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, order sustained. The member for Latikunda Sabiji, please take note and do not
Honorable Speaker,
go into. Honorable, sit down, please. Take your seat. And please do not go into the specifics, reasons or objects, especially going into provisions of the bill. Thank you. Please, Honorable Member for Latikunda Sabiji, continue.
Honorable Speaker, he don't understand what I said, and equally you didn't understand. What I said, Section 50 of the
Honorable Member for Latikunda, take your seat, please. No, please, take your seat. Order. Honorable Member for Honorable Member for Kantora, take your seat. Honorable Member for Latikunda Sabiji, I made a ruling on that. You cannot go back to that, please. Don't do that. Continue.
And I'm going to repeat for records. I am not talking about.
If you want to, Honorable Member, if you want to repeat, I will. Sit down. Take your seat. Take your seat. Honorable Member, if you want to contribute, you must abide by my ruling. If you want to contribute, I've made the ruling and I don't want you to go back to that. Do not justify why you did that. You are out of order. Don't do that. If you want to contribute, if you want to continue your deliberation, you must abide by my ruling. You cannot take us back on those things. We will not accept that. Continue.
Honorable Minister, as I said, the bill is a very progressive bill, and I look at the specific intent of the bill where you mention balance the investor-state relationship. I think this is very important for our investors because one thing I know, if investors are not protected in the country, when they land in the airport, they always want to go to the corridors of the power so that they can be protected. But if we are wise enough to bring a law that is going to protect the investors and their investments, they will certainly just go to the AG chambers, incorporate their businesses and do their businesses because they know they are protected by the law. So this law is a very important law, and I really hope we are going to implement it whereby investors will not go to the state corridor to look for favors to do their investment. That's number one. Number two, the particular intent also, you mentioned a social corporate responsibility. I think this is long overdue. Because myself personally, I remember all the companies that has their investment in my constituency. I personally wrote all of them for them to do their social corporate responsibility in the constituency.
none of them replied to my letter because the law, when I look at the law, I realize that it's not an obligation on them. So now if we are revising a law, that is going to make it obligatory on companies to do their social corporate responsibilities. I think this is a step in the right direction. Thank you very much.
I'm not sure the member for Adekona, that social corporate responsibility should be under your constituency and under what authority? But please don't respond. Member for Kiang West, you have the floor. He's out again. Nominated member Kebalang Fofana, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, due to time constraints, I'll be very brief. Just to congratulate the Ministry of Trade and GAIPA as well. Having legal frameworks provides the necessary guarantees and securities for investment. And security is an imperative. Without security, it will be very, very difficult to really secure investments. And we all know currently, in the Gambia, what we need very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, nominated member Kebalang Fofana. I now invite the member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much again, Honorable Speaker. And of course, Honorable Speaker, I'll have to join colleagues in congratulating the newly appointed Minister of Trade. Congratulations for your newly appointed. And of course, congratulations to GAIPA for bringing us this before us, this very important bill. Again, it is timely and it is very, very important, as alluded by other members. This is a bill that is also trying to address some of the challenges that our people outside or our other investors who might have built interest to come and invest in the Gambia. So it is very important we have such a bill, we have such a law that will also encourage even our citizens outside who would like to come and invest in Gambia, and of course other external investors. So as I said, I'll be very much brief, and it is also a bill that has also addressed, the issue of trying to reduce or to increase the employment rate in this country. As we can all see, employment is becoming a challenge because more youths are learning and more youths are achieving their goals of having higher educational rates. And of course, still because of the population in the Gambia, and of course, we cannot be having more employment, youth employment. So this is a bill that is also trying to address to see how best our youths can also be created. Because having more businesses or more investors coming into our country, of course, this can also increase the size of employment, especially of our youths in the country. So to be more precise again, Honorable Speaker, I'll also urge the honorable members of this parliament to join us as a committee to see how best we can also pass this bill to become an act. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Tumanna, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to start my deliberation by congratulating the new minister to the Ministry of Trade. Honorable Minister, congratulations. And I would again want to thank the ministry together with DIPA for coming up with this wonderful bill that is aimed to amend the 2015 GIPA Act. We all know this act has a lot of weaknesses that is making it possible for people to misuse the SIG that is in the act. The SIG is the special investment certificate that is geared towards attracting investors in SIC in this country. So therefore, what we believe, some people are misusing it because it is targeting for 5 years plus 2, but we know some people are going beyond that. Some are even going up over 10 years. And it is only targeting investors, responsible investors and sustainable investors to come to the Gambia and do businesses with those so that they can enjoy those opportunities. Honorable Speaker, I believe this bill is going to position the Gambia, to benefit in the emerging opportunities as far as the regional integration is concerned. So currently, yes, the GIPA Act that is in force is also opening to that. But to make it strong and position the Gambia well, I think the country needs this particular bill. This will attract and retain, and of course, expand the responsible and sustainable investors in the country, and also put them on the right track. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I would like to take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, member for Tumanna. I will now invite the member for Kantora and Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the floor. I wouldn't take much of your time, but of course, to join my colleagues to felicitate the Right Honorable Minister for winning the trust and confidence of His Excellency the President, appoint him to take the mantle of leadership as far as Trade Ministry is concerned. And of course, that takes me right to the debate proper. This is really long overdue, and I think I am in line with the proposal made by the very member Kebala Fofana that the Parliament would take everything seriously to make sure we commit this bill to the committee of the whole House to look at the proposed amendments and tidy it up, as time is very germane. Honorable Speaker, I said in my first intervention that Gambia is a signatory to AfCFTA, the Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement. And we are opening up our country to receive inflow of goods. So therefore, honest lies on us as well to make sure to create the enabling environment to compete with other bigger markets. This is what is expected of the government. So these deserve a commendation a standing ovation to tap the government on the back that for doing the right thing. Government must make sure that we look at all regulatory frameworks to make sure that we are also to compete with the wider world. In so doing, you must give, of course, some incentives. But is it forever? No, because it has some revenue implications. So it's time that the GAPA and the Ministry of Trade are thinking in this direction to make sure the key word is facilitate and promote trade transactions, both import and export, which is very, very key. So therefore, I think the minister, we commend you for that. And of course, taking the bull by the horn, that it is not tax free forever. There has to be a timeline. You cannot keep on saying that you are a startup. A startup till when? You cannot also abuse them. So I think these decisions are decisive and they are very much suited at the right place. So without further ado, I'll call on members of parliament to really expedite the process of this bill that we don't really have time. And time is of concern because of our membership to other international organizations, the likes of RedNet and others. So I think it's important that the government, this is what we expect the government to do, to create an enabling environment, to make sure that we look at all these regulatory framework, to align them so that we can be able to compete with the Western world, with the entire African continent. This is giving us a market of 1.3 billion.
Member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. And let me first of all thank the Honorable Minister and congratulate you on your appointment as a Minister for Trade. Honorable Speaker, as a member of the Trade Committee, these amendments are not coincidence. These amendments are deliberate attempts because we have realities on the ground that required a legislative amendment on our laws that governs investments. And during several engagements that we have had with the ministry as well as GAIPA, they have seen these gaps in the legislation that would ensure that the interest of the country is protected as well as investors. So this is why they come up with such important amendments. If you look at all the amendments, from 1 to 14, and some of these amendments are not stand-alone clauses. They have sub-clauses, which are required for thorough consultation with the business community, investors, as well as the government stakeholders. Of course, the ministry is the owner of the bill, but we have other stakeholders whose inputs are very well matters. Of course, consultation is important, but incorporating what the views of your stakeholders is also matters so much. And investment is not a simple thing. Of course, I wasn't around when my honorable chair was deliberating, but he must talk about the special investment certificate. This has been an agenda on the table, and we debated extensively, and we had a lot of discussions about it with the ministry as well as GAIPA. So I think of recent, we have passed a bill that intends to amalgamate the, how to call it, can you please help me, Honorable Chair? Standards Bureau and the weights and measures. And all of these things are very much, and we have done thorough consultation. So I want to appeal to the committee, the assembly, to allow this bill to be referred to a committee to continue that thorough consultation and report back so that we can enrich the document. Because otherwise we cannot just come and pass this bill, look at all these amendments, we just come to the floor, we want to fast track. But let us try to do the extensive consultation on the bill. We can enrich the bill for the ministry. This is all what we want to do to help the ministry as well as GAIPA. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Member for Central Badibu, you can have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I also want to thank the Honorable Minister, congratulate him for his newly appointment. Honorable Speaker, the object and the reason of this bill is very clear and is very apt and timely. Gambia is not an isolation in terms of trade, in terms of promotion of welfare of investors. And we have been seeing where investors sometimes are not protected in a country. So this bill is here to protect both investors and the citizens, as alluded by the majority leader, that Gambia will be also able to participate in other sub-regional and international organizations. Now, Gambia is a signatory to African Continental Free Trade. So, and we also have what we call as green recovery focus. So this bill, once it's passed, is vetted, is looked at, is improved, is going to make Gambia also to participate equally as other partners. Honorable Speaker, it also talks about the promotion of sustainable development in order to integrate social and economic environmental sustainability. You know, the objective is into investment regulations. So we cannot have an investment in a country when it is not regulated. So there could be an abuse of authority. So we need regulation in place, and our institutions like GAIPAC, Gambia State Bureau, these institutions need to be well equipped. And the bill talks about that. Now, Gambia here, our agricultural products, they are not weighed. Most of them are not weighed. You put your cabbage or whatsoever in the basket, they charge for basket. So there should be a standard of measurement in place that's going to make people to invest into agriculture rather than being losing. Honorable Speaker, it also talks about the legal and policy coherence in order to address systematic gaps, overlaps, and inconsistencies within the investment regime. So I believe, and I agree with Honorable Member of Kiang West, that it has to be referred to a committee. A committee needs to look into this and enrich it, and it becomes an inclusive bill. It will be a bill that is going to be citizen-friendly, a bill that is going to be here for the people. Thank you.
Member for Fonyi Bintankarana, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as the bills entail, investment, export, and promoting. You see, as a nation, most of the time, our investment, the side of our investment is very weak. And also, when it comes to export is an important aspect of a nation, and it promotes our economy, and it promotes the growth of our economy. You see, today, most of the people will wonder as the reason as to why the dollar is constantly depreciating, because we are not exporting anything. When I say anything, or only few things we are exporting, or things that are of no great value. So if we invest more in export, that will promote our economy to the standard that is required on earth. So that is an important thing. But also, like honorable members noted, that it will be important for us to refer it to the committee, for the committee to do the needful, because the law-making process should be a complex one where people look into it, think critically, and enrich any bill that is being passed. As much as we want it, as soon as possible, but we must look into it to enrich it so that we have what we want as a nation, for us to progress, to actually generate the kind of export that we want, the valuable export. So on that note, I thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now invite the Honorable Minister for Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment to respond to issues raised and wind up the debate. Honorable Minister. See me? Now,
Honorable Speaker, with respect to comments coming from my own chair, the chairman of the Trade Committee, we've noted the call and will be happy to be guided whether these things goes next to the third reading or is sufficient for its consideration at this stage. We stand to be guided and we will comply with whatever suggestion that you make. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled the Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2025 be read a second time. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it, clerk.
Thank you. The Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency Amendment Bill 2025.
Honorable members, in accordance with Order 68, Sub 1 of the Standing Orders, the bill is hereby referred to the Assembly Business Committee for committal to either a committee or committee of the whole Assembly. Thank you, clerk. We may proceed. Thank you. Honorable members, that does it for today. And of course, I wish you a very pleasant day and Ramadan Mubarak to all of you, the Honorable Minister and team. I wish you all the best. Honorable members, be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Tuesday, 3rd March. Honorable members, please take your seat. Please. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Tuesday, 3rd March 2026 at 10 a.m. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. This assembly now stand adjourned until Tuesday, 3rd March 2026 at 10 a.m.
أنتم تعلمون